The Amish don't attend church weekly. Instead, they will attend church every other week. On the Sundays that they don't attend church, they often go to a visit with friends, family, or they'll attend another district's church service. The Amish are very respectful about other religions, but they may be more cautious about other religions that aren't Christian. They often have an enlightened view of other faiths. The Anabaptists feared persecution of state officials, so they often held church services in informal settings such as caves. Continuing the tradition, the Amish often have church services in the homes of church members. The Amish see churches as a symbol of worldliness and believe that church isn't the building, but the church is rather the people that it comprises. During the time of Rumspringa, the Amish often start finding a person to date and marry. Usually between the ages of 21 and 23, the Amish get married. The woman is usually about a year younger than the man. The Amish keep their engagement a secret from their families for a couple of months, and in turn, the family keeps the engagement a secret from the church for another couple of months. Amish weddings are usually held in November or December and happen on a Tuesday or Thursday, so that there is a day before for setup and a day after for cleanup. Amish women typically make their own dress, which is usually blue, and sometimes even make their own bridesmaids' dresses. The wedding is usually attended by at least 200 people and lasts around 3 hours. The Amish typically date inside their Amish affiliations, but not always. The biggest requirement, though, is that both the man and the woman be baptized before they are married, meaning that they are both officially a part of the Amish Church. Very rarely an Amish person will marry outside the Amish faith. To do so, the non-Amish person will join the church, or the Amish person will have to leave the faith, which then they will face shunning. The Amish, sometimes known as Amish Mennonites, are members of an Anabaptist Christian denomination. The Amish have similar beliefs as Protestants. The Amish believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God, that he died for their sins, and that he is the way to salvation. However, many Amish also practice a works-based relationship with God. They view their good works as earning favor with God. The Amish faith was founded by Jacob Ammon. In many ways, it started as a reform group within the Mennonite movement, an attempt to restore some of the early practice of the Mennonites. The Ordnung is a set of rules that the Amish follow living their day-to-day lives. The Ordnung helps Amish church members live more Christian lives and brings them closer to God. Some examples of what would be in the Ordnung is how the Amish should dress and a forbidding on owning cars. The Amish believe in God and that He is the way to salvation. The Amish follow the Ordnung, which is like an unwritten set of rules, in order to live a more Christian lifestyle. The Amish believe that submitting oneself to an Ordnung is also a way to demonstrate a humble spirit, an important Christ-like trait. The church bishop faced tasks like heading church districts, baptizing new members, performing marriage ceremonies, and disciplining members when they break the Ordnung rules. Some job traits that they are unpaid, untrained, and they can support the implementing of new technologies in the district. The church minister faced tasks like assisting the bishop and delivering sermons on Sundays. Some traits are usually that there are 2 or 3 per district, and that they must read and study the Bible in English and German to prepare for sermons. The ministers are chosen by votes. Each member in the district nominates in secret. The members that receive a certain number of votes become candidates. Women are not eligible to be candidates but are allowed to nominate. The candidates each pick a songbook, one of which will contain a scripture verse inside. The candidate that picks the songbook with the scripture verse becomes the minister. The new minister is ordained at that time. The deacon of the church face several tasks. They collect funds for community members who need it, such as for medical bills. They read the scripture and recite the High German prayer at each service. They announce weddings. They visit members who may have violated the Ordnung. They renounce members who left the church but returned. And they assist with baptism and communion. Some details of Amish church services are that the Amish hold church services in homes of community members every other Sunday. Those church services sometimes happen in barns or basements of those community members. In order to stay plain, the church services do not include candles, choirs, organs, stained glass windows, and several other things. During the service, the young children will sit with their parents, while the older children will sit in separate sections separated by gender. The typical length of the entire service lasts about 3 hours. The Amish hymn book that they sing out of is called the Osbund. The Amish church service opens with the members singing hymns in German. During the opening hymn, the church leaders gather and decide which minister will provide the service. That minister will speak their sermon in Pennsylvania Dutch dialect. The deacon will read a passage from the scripture and 2 prayers will be said, one out loud and one silently. During this time, the community will be kneeling. There is an open sermon and then a main sermon. The opening sermon lasts about half an hour, while the main sermon lasts around an hour. The entire church service lasts around 3 hours. Rumspringa literally translates to running around. When the Amish are young adults, usually around 16 or 17, they are allowed to try new things and enjoy more social activity with their peers. They are not yet members of the church as they have not yet been baptized. This is a time for the Amish to date around and find a potential marriage partner and decide if they want to join the church by being baptized. During Rumspringa, the Amish typically start dating, socializing with peers, and enjoy activities like sports and trips with friends. Rumspringa is nothing like the way the media shows it. Rumspringa is usually very tame. The Amish typically just enjoy time with friends and start dating. Rarely, though, the Amish do decide to dress like the English, drink alcohol, and get their driver's license and a vehicle. The Amish usually live at home during Rumspringa and while they date until they get married. Even after they are married, they will typically live there for several months until they are ready to move into their own home. Rumspringa usually starts when an Amish person turns 16 or 17. It depends on the district. It ends when a person marries. Because an Amish person in Rumspringa is not yet a baptized member of the church cannot shun them. If an Amish person decides to break the rules during Rumspringa, they won't be shunned, but may face lectures from their parents. The Amish are usually between 18 and 22 years old when they are baptized. Being baptized means that they're officially part of the Amish Church. They get baptized because they believe it is the best spiritual path to marry another Amish member, and because sometimes they face parent and peer pressure to join the church. Most Amish decide to be baptized. Between 85 and 90% go this route. Candidates for baptism attend classes and have 9 meetings with church leaders. This takes about 18 weeks. The day before baptism, the Amish individuals are allowed to change their minds about being baptized during a special session. After the 2 sermons at a church service, the candidates will kneel. The bishop asks questions to the candidates about committing to living a Christian life, such as, do they renounce the devil and the world to commit to Christ? The deacon pours water on each individual's head. Each individual then receives a holy kiss. Males from the bishop receive a kiss from the bishop, and females receive a holy kiss from the bishop's wife. After this, they are now official members of the Amish Church.